Vita, a young girl in a dull pink dress, she sits alongside an elderly woman. She is soldering, she is welding pieces of glass. Next narrator moves to the house of Savita. Savita, who is a neighbor of Mukesh. She is a young girl. She is wearing a dull pink dress. She sits alongside an elderly woman welding the pieces of glass. As her, Savita's hands they move mechanically like the tongs of a machine. The narrator says that she wonders if Savita, she knows the sanctity, the auspiciousness of the bangles she helps make. So when narrator, she observes Savita making the bangles very fast like a machine, she wonders if Savita knows anything about the auspiciousness of the bangles that she is helping in making. It symbolizes an Indian woman's suhag, auspiciousness in marriage. The bangle symbolizes an Indian woman's suhag. They are very auspicious in the marriage. This fact that bangles are very auspicious, it will dawn on Savita suddenly one day when her head is draped with a red veil and her hands dyed red with henna and red bangles rolled onto her wrist. Narrator thinks that Savita will understand the auspiciousness, the sanctity of the bangles the day when she herself will become a bride. She will then become a bride like the old women beside her who became a bride many years ago. She still has bangles on her wrist but no light in her eyes. Savita's mother also became a bride one day. She still has bangles because Savita's father is alive, but there is no light in the eyes of her mother, no light of any joy. एक वक्त शेर भर खाना भी नहीं खाया, she says in a voice drained of joy. Savita's mother, she tells the narrator that they never could afford anything. She has not enjoyed even one full meal in her entire lifetime. That is what she has reaped out of bangle making. Her husband, an old man with a flowing beard, he says, I know nothing except bangles. All I have done is make a house for the family to live in. Savita's father also says that I know nothing except making the bangles. All I could manage in my lifetime is that I have made a house for the family. Hearing him, one wonders if he has achieved what many have failed in their lifetime. He has a roof over his head. The cry of not having money to do anything except carry on the business of making bangles, not even enough to eat, it rings in every home. Every home in Firozabad, it cries that bangle making has never been a fruitful profession, that they could never get enough from the bangle making. The young men echo the lament of their elders. The young men also make the same grief, the same complaint that their elders had made. The elders' complaint is that bangle making was never fruitful, and similar is the complaint of young men of Firozabad. Little has moved with time, it seems, in Firozabad. Years of mind-numbing toil. Toil is labor. It has killed all their initiative and the ability to dream. These people, these bangle makers, have worked so hard that years of this hard labor, it has killed all their initiative. It has killed their ability to dream, to do something new. Why not organize yourselves into a cooperative? I ask a group of young men who have fallen into the vicious circle of middlemen who trapped their fathers and forefathers. So the narrator asks a group of young men, why don't they organize themselves into a cooperative? These young men, they too have fallen into the vicious, evil circle of middlemen, the middlemen who trapped their fathers and forefathers. The young men said, even if we get organized, we are the ones who will be hauled, who will be pushed by the police, beaten and dragged to jail for doing something illegal, they say. The young men say that even if they try to organize themselves into a cooperative, they'll be punished by the police in the name of doing something illegal. Second reason why they don't organize themselves into a cooperative is that there is no leader among them. There is no leader who can tell them to do something new. Nobody who could help them see things differently. Their fathers are as tired as they are. They talk endlessly in a spiral that moves from poverty to apathy to greed and to injustice. These young people, they move in a spiral. See, a spiral is like this, only this is a spiral. They move. They begin in poverty. Then they become the victims of greed and they get the apathy. That is indifference from everybody around them. The government, the policemen, the bureaucrats, everybody shows them apathy. They are indifferent to their problems. They begin in poverty. Then they become the victims of greed of the middlemen, the sahukar, moneylenders and everybody. And then they get apathy, they get indifference from the world around them. So they move endlessly, they talk endlessly in a spiral that moves from poverty to apathy to greed and to injustice. They get injustice from every corner of the world. Listening to them, I see, the narrator says that she can see two distinct worlds. One of the family caught in a web of poverty, burdened by the stigma of caste in which they are born, and the other is a vicious circle of the sahukars, the middlemen, the policemen, the keepers of law, the bureaucrats, and the politicians.